Welcome our guest today, Bernice Lewis, all the way from Massachusetts, sharing her music.
Or really all the way from my living room. Well, it's wonderful to be here.
And Angel Santiago was sharing his words and wisdom.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah.
And both Angel and I are really excited about the transformation that's happening all around us. And I know that we've been talking about that, and I'm sure that Bernice and Zet have also been experiencing their transformation, and we all get this change. We all get to share that sense of change this morning, and the possibility of newness breaking through. So our words, our songs, our silences are all focused on our willingness to change and be changed, to love and be loved. And we're so glad that you're here with us online.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And we're going to begin this morning with our Come Celebrate song, invoking that joy that we can all feel if we just tap into it. So we'll see you both in a moment.
Come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, one by one, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. Come celebrate, join in a circle, come celebrate, side by side, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. Celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, yes, celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, heart open wide, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. We are one. We are one.
So we now take a moment to tap into Mother Earth, this place that we are allowed to rest our feet upon, all the gifts that she brings to us. And if you're able to physically stand and face and turn into the four directions, please do that as we begin. We'll begin with the east, with the land of the rising sun of new beginnings. We'll turn and face to the south, that warm, dark, bright sunshine, abundance and the heat of the summer. And then we'll turn to the west, that time of challenge, the setting sun. And we'll face into the north, the cold, dark night and the challenges, the digging deep in. And then we'll turn for that divine within each one of us. So as we begin, O great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Won't you join us as we begin with the east?
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Turning to the south.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Turning to the west.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. You are inside and all around me.
Facing to the north.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. You are inside and all around.
Turning within.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. You are inside and all around.
Oh, Holy One, Holy Wonder, we open our hearts to you in this moment. We open to all the moments that have been and those that will be. And we breathe into this moment now, here, together. We join with all of creation, the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged ones, the ones that swim and crawl with the rocks, the trees, the grasses, the seas, the skies, the stars, the oceans, with the universe, with all of life. We affirm we are one. Together, we are one. And once again, we are one. For this opportunity, for all of the possibilities, all circumstances, for all of it, the joys and the sorrows, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And now we welcome Bernice Lewis to share one of her beautiful songs, Bliss's Child.
So I picked this song today because it's actually a song I wrote with my friend Michael Smith, who really well-known songwriter in the folk world, who left us a couple weeks ago. And for that reason, and also I haven't played it out a lot, but it makes me think about what's going on around us right now for all of us. Many of us are alone or just have a few people. So it's called Bliss's Child. Cover me up with a blanket, angel with a ring in your nose. Lower the light and just go. If in the darkness I hear a lullaby from a stranger's radio playing low, I'll know no blame, no shame, no calling out your name, sauntering through all life's trials. Now that I am Bliss's child, Mama keeps all of her secrets in places where words dare not go. She would like the beads in your hair, and whether I Papa was a fading love, or the endless aching road years ago. How no shame, no calling out your name, sauntering through all life's trials. Now that I am Bliss's child. Some angels love you with all of their hearts. Some angels help you to make a new start. Some angels promise they'll always stay, and some angels fly away. So don't let me dwell on my losses, and don't let me count on my gains. Don't leave me alone out here on memory lane. And when there's nothing left to hold me but the arc of Cupid's bow, I'll know. I'll know. No blame, no shame, no calling out your name, sauntering through all life's trials. Now that I am Bliss's child.
Thank you, Bernice. Beautiful. Today, when I was picking a poem for today, our poem notebook, which is very large, flipped open, and there was one of Bernice's poems just sitting, waiting, that she had emailed Rudy 5 years ago. So, Be Small by Bernice Lewis. Be small. Think big. You cannot afford to live these days without wearing your self-esteem like a squash blossom necklace that spreads its veined turquoise beyond your spiny collarbones out into the ether. Don't just love. Widen your embrace until you bump elbows with the horizon. Lift arm bones and rearrange every cloud until your tiny fingers are cold and damp. Use your feet to circle an ever-shrinking planet. Don't just love. Exhaust yourself with connection. Shake each hand as if the fate of the world depended on it. Don't just love. Exhaust yourself with connection. Beautiful.
And into that place of connection, we invite you to join us for a time of communion breath. Were we able to meet in person, we would break a loaf of bread together. But because we're online, we share that which we all have in common, which we can literally taste every moment of every day, and that is our breath. And we'll breathe together consciously as that leads us in this process.
So breathing in at the sound of the Tibetan bowl, we'll do 4 deep breaths together, ingesting this air that, is air that everyone breathes from all time. And we'll take 4 of them together, consciously, mindfully, and then on the exhale, we'll release anything that no longer serves us, letting go, releasing into now. Together, inhale. And again. Once more. For this, we are truly grateful as we remember that we are one. Now we invite Bernice back for another beautiful song.
So this isn't one I usually play at services, but I was thinking about connection and something Zed sent me that Angel wrote, and the times that we're living in. I wrote this song when I felt lonely and missed the habitual phone call that we used to have to connect with each other, and felt funny about the fact that we all have so many phone numbers and nobody picks up. And when COVID happened, I started to notice that people did pick up. So this is called Call Me. Keep picking up. It's good to talk to your friends. Long days without you, and the night whispers your name. Don't wanna doubt you, but it's so late. Moon sits up on the horizon, just a sliver of itself. Don't send me an email, tweet or a text, MySpace or Facebook or whatever comes next. Call me old-fashioned, but call me. I miss the sound of your voice. I might not answer. Oh, I might make you guess. You might have noticed that it's so hip to be scarce. You think you know what I'm thinking when you read between the lines. Don't send me an email, tweet or a text, MySpace or Facebook or whatever comes next. Call me old-fashioned, but call me, I miss the sound of your voice. Don't make an appointment. I'm gonna need so much more. Don't ask for permission, just use intuition. It's the next best thing. Showing up at my door. Don't send me an email, a tweet or a text, MySpace or Facebook or whatever comes next. Call me old-fashioned, but call me, I miss the sound of your voice. I miss the sound of your voice.
Thanks for opening that space of connection for us and providing a wonderful segue to Angel Santiago, who has become a good friend over the years. I had the good fortune of meeting him as he was deepening his spiritual quest consciously about 5-6 years ago, I guess. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to walk alongside him as his spiritual understanding has grown, and his ministry as a life coach, as a source of inspiration, as a person who's really helping be a catalyst for change, transformation on the planet. And we're blessed to have him as part of the Circle community, to have him be part of our Council of Stewards, and to bring his wisdom on Wednesdays. Every other Wednesday, he leads the meditation. And we're really grateful for your wisdom, your warmth, your insight, and look forward to hearing what you have to say this morning, Angel. Angel Santiago.
Thank you so much, Rudy and Zed. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. Ideally, we'd be doing this in person, but hey, you know how it goes. I'd like to first start off by just sharing a quick little story. You know, there was this boy who went to talk to his mom because he wanted to know, you know, where do we come from? You know, where do human comes from? You know, and the mom, you know, she gave her very Christian perspective. You know, Adam and Eve. You know, we come from Adam and Eve, and then their children had children, and their children had children, and you know, we evolved into what we are today. And so the boy goes to the dad and says, "Hey, Dad, where do humans come from?" And he gave a very scientific explanation. Well, you know, there was monkeys, and then we evolved from monkeys, and you know, now we're here. And so then the boy goes back to the mom, and he was kind of a little bit upset and confused. He goes, "Mom, you kind of lied to me. Like, Dad told me that we kind of evolved from monkeys." And he goes, "Son, your dad was only telling you his side of the family." So that's just a little funny joke about evolution, because if there is a purpose to this existence, you know, we call this the third dimension, right, where we're living. If there is a purpose to this third dimension, it would be to evolve. It would be to grow, to transcend anything that holds us back. And more often than not, that is our pain. It is our childhood traumas. And we do this via the many people and situations that come into our lives. Each of them, they come to give you a different perspective of who you are, so that over time, with as many perspectives as possible that you can get, you can realize the truth of who you are, and you could be at peace. You could be peace because it's what you are. That's a process, and it's a process that, from my understanding and from my experience, it doesn't end. Life is really more of like a spiral of experiences, and wherever you hit, you may kind of keep going through different levels of the same situation, and keep unpacking it. So it's a process that we have to say yes to. You don't have to say yes. It's going to happen either way, but it depends on how you want to go through that process. Do you want to go through that process willingly, or do you want to fight your way through that process? And that's a process that I've said yes to for myself first, and then yes to help guide others to do the same. But it's not because I've somehow mastered this process, because I'm not, but because I'm in this process. I'm in this process, and I've said yes to it. Just recently, I took a trip to Landa River, in Braunfels, Landa Park, and the Braunfels, in the river there. And I did a water ritual with another friend of mine who's also like a spiritual mystic or a spiritual teacher, and it was a beautiful ritual that I did there. But when we finished the ritual, we had a picnic together, and he began to tell us a story about a caveman, and he said that he had us close our eyes, and he was like, okay, kind of picture yourself being a caveman or a cave woman back in those days. And as you know, there was really no language. They just make noises, as we've been told. Again, I don't know, but that's what we've been told, that based on where evolution was at the time, there was really no language. It was more like grunts and sounds, and they were experiencing things for the very, very first time. And it was funny because he was like mimicking everything. He was like, like he was really getting into the character of being a caveman. And he says, imagine you're walking and you're exploring, and you hear a sound from a distance, and you'd never heard this sound before. So it's kind of calling you, and you want to know what it is. And so you keep walking towards the sound, and it gets louder and louder and louder. And you stumble upon a river, and the river is just kind of going through going down wherever it goes, and you decide to touch the water. You don't know it's water, but you touch it, and there's this like amazement that you're touching this thing that you don't know what it is, and it feels different in your hand. You never felt that before, and you want to touch it again, and then now you want to get your whole entire body in there, and it kind of like takes you away, and you start to what we call drown in this river, but you don't even know that you're drowning because you don't have a concept of this. There's no words for this. You never experienced this before, and you're kind of sort of flailing your arms around, and you're just kind of like, you're basically possibly dying, but you don't even know you're dying because you don't really know what that is, because you've never fallen in water before. And then in the whole chaos, in the midst of that chaos, all of a sudden you feel someone grab you and pull you out. And it was another caveman. How did that caveman know to do that? Because chances are he had the same experience as you. He probably fell in the river also. He probably almost drowned. He's been there, done that. And now he can say, let me give you a hand. I've been there before. Let me show you how to get out of that if you want to, And so that's sort of that kind of sharing is kind of what we do in this world. I'm in the process as well. And I may have stumbled upon something, and I may be there, and I may be able to offer some guidance. And so that's kind of what we're here to do for each other. And it's not that the other caveman is better than the previous caveman, than the one that fell in. It's just that he's been there already, so he can offer a hand. When it comes to this 3D experience, we have these two forces. We call them our duality, right? We call it positive and negative, light and dark, good or bad. It's just everything in life comes in pairs of opposites, right? And we're often wanting to be in one or the other, good, not bad. We want the good, we don't want the bad. We want the light, we don't want the dark. We want to lean more towards the good one and not the bad one, right? But what are these forces doing for us? That's really what they are. They're just forces that are allowing us or giving us the experiences we need, so we know who we are in the middle. So we know who we are in the middle. I've been learning from this gentleman called Matias De Stefano on Gaia TV, and I talked about Gaia TV last time I was there. I highly encourage any of you to get it. But he was sort of sharing that we just like we can get lost in the dark, and we can understand getting lost in the dark. We can understand that makes sense. Oh, he's lost in his darkness, right? We can get lost in the light just as well. Again, they're two extremes. They're duality. They're two opposing forces, or they seem, right? They seem to be opposing forces. So if you go too much towards the light, you can get lost over there. If you go too much towards the dark, you can get lost over there. And there was this experiment that was done where they had a spotlight in front of a man, and he began to walk towards the light. And the closer he got towards the light, you can imagine what happened to his shadow. His shadow got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point that at one point the shadow is going to be all you see. And vice versa, the closer you get to the shadow, the bigger the light. The bigger the light gets. But at either point, if you go too much to one extreme, the shadow will bring you back. If you go too much to the other extreme, the light will bring you back. We're not supposed to go through one or the other, right? You don't transcend through the light, and you don't transcend through the dark. You transcend by understanding yourself in the middle, right? Finding that point of integration, that harmony, right? That balance point. And how do we do that? Again, by the contrast of that duality, the contrast of the good versus the bad, the light versus the dark, the positive versus the negative, which are neither. It's just perspectives. So, when you find yourself in a situation and you're experiencing something difficult, right? Or something undesirable, or something that you don't want, you're gaining an opportunity to get a different perspective of who you are. Let me paint it differently. In the video that I was watching, in the series that I was learning from, he was talking about this two forces kind of spinning around each other. These forces of duality spinning around each other. And what they're really doing is they're trying to see if they can look behind the other. They're just trying to go around each other, trying to get to see the other side of the other one, trying to see the other perspective. And they just keep going around trying to gain as many perspectives of themselves as possible. So when take a spouse, a partner, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend comes into your life, and it creates a difficult experience for you, again, that's just a perspective of yourself that you need to gain. When you have a beautiful experience with someone, that's just another perspective of yourself that you need to gain. So these situations that I talked about a minute ago, these people, the situations that come into our lives, again, they're just giving us perspectives. And as I was listening to this series of talks, this picture of a clock, the hands of the watch of a clock came into mind. And that every second, every tick of the second hand is a perspective. Tick, perspective, tick, 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 tick. You keep getting all these different perspectives. And that's really all they are. So when you look at them that way, what did this person came to show me? What did this situation came to show me? So that I could keep learning all of who I am through as many different perspectives. Only then will I be able to understand who I am. And instead of fighting, for example, as you know, I learned a lot from all kinds of shows. And I'm recently watching a new show called Merlin, which is from the King Arthur series of the Knights of Camelot and Merlin the Sorcerer. And in the series, Arthur is not a king yet; he's a prince. And they go on a hunting trip, and Arthur sees a unicorn, and he decides that he wants to hunt the unicorn because he feels that the horn would be a great price for their kingdom. And so he does. He brings the unicorn horn home to his father, the king, and he's very pleased. He's very happy. He's like, this price will bring a lot of pride to our kingdom. It's such a rare thing to have found this. But then the next day, after Prince Arthur got back, the whole entire kingdom, the crops died in the whole entire kingdom. Their water turned to sand, and their food reserves rotted. And they were like, what is going on? Well, they talked to an old sorcerer who vowed to never do magic again, because in that time, magic was not allowed to be used by king's orders. But he vowed that he wouldn't use it. He's an old friend of the king, and he became the physician of the king. But he knows that he did sorcery, so he says, have you ever heard of this? And he says, my lord, yes, I have. I've heard of, there's a myth or a tale or a legend that says if anybody kills a unicorn, they will be cursed. And they're like, oh, please, that's impossible. That's preposterous. But they start noticing that these things keep happening and they're not going away, and they're only getting worse. Well, the next night, a messenger appears to Prince Arthur and Merlin. He looked like a sorcerer as well. And he came to let them know that they are, in fact, cursed because they killed a unicorn. Well, Arthur got really mad at the sorcerer or the messenger that came to deliver this message and demanded that he lifted the curse. And the sorcerer, the messenger says, I'm sorry, but I didn't put this curse on you. It was not my actions. It was your actions that put this curse on your land, on your kingdom. So only you have the power to take it away. And he was so mad. He was like, no, you're a sorcerer. You've did this to us. You take it away. And says, I can't. The only thing you can do is you can take responsibility and you can take ownership of your actions and you can make amends for what you did. And he said, I will do no such thing. I have done nothing wrong. And then the messenger disappears. But in that moment, I just realized how we get so mad and frustrated with the messenger because we don't think we did anything. This people come into our lives and these situations come to our lives to show us where we are, where we lack, where we could be better, where we're not loving ourselves, where we could grow, and we just get mad at them. I've been guilty of it. We get mad at the messenger for bringing us or showing us a truth that could help us evolve, right? We get mad at the messenger. And in fact, it's really us that we need to say, okay, what's here for me? How do I grow from this? What do I need to learn here? What do I need to take responsibility for? And do I need to make some amends in some way, shape, or form? So when we're talking about evolution, we're talking about the gradual process or the gradual development of something, especially going from something simple to something more complex, right? So you are in a state of evolution. You are a gradual process that's in developing constantly. But in order to change some of these negative patterns or destructive patterns in our lives, we must change it in all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. We have to change it in all different levels. And so you may be saying, I've already dealt with this issue already. Why am I here again? Maybe you dealt with it on one level, but again, it's a spiral path. So maybe now you're dealing with it on another level, right? Again, going from something simple to a little bit more complex. Your journey doesn't end. And depending on your calling, depending on your purpose, your journey may be that much challenging for you. It may not get any easier. It may be that much challenging because of the importance of your mission, the importance of your purpose. So when we find ourselves in the situations, evolution means not only that you understand the situation, but also that you can, again, you think about it, you reflect upon it, you integrate what you learned, and then you start to respond differently to maybe the same situation or something similar. You respond with more love and more compassion and more understanding. So to a similar situation, right? So here's some processes that you can do or some steps that you can do when you find yourself in a very difficult situation. First, you want to observe. You want to become the observer of the situation. Again, this is not something that may not come right away. It may be too painful to do this at the moment. You may have to experience your pain and maybe even sit with that pain and maybe even go through the process of grief before you can do this step that I'm going to take, the steps that I'm going to share with you now. So if you're at a place where you can do this, you want to observe the situation. You want to be an observer of the situation. And that you may need time for that. You may need time and space to be able to do this. You also want to honor the lesson behind the situation. So the idea is to kind of look through the situation and get to the lesson, and you want to honor the situation or the relationship or the person, right? Then as you do that, you want to integrate. You realize that this is an opportunity for me to evolve. And so I want to integrate. I want to take everything that showed up for me, and I want to put it in my body so that I can become better. So that I can now, the next step is so that now I can respond differently. So I'm taking the lesson from this difficult situation or person or experience. I observe it, I honor it, I integrate it, and now I can bring it out into the world and be and give the best of me for other people, for myself first, but for other people. And then once we're there, then we're in a place where we can transcend that situation. We can evolve that situation. We can maybe transcend who you were. You can transcend that version of yourself. And so again, we want to observe the situation. We want to honor the situation by seeing the lesson behind the situation. We want to integrate and realize I have an opportunity to grow here, an opportunity to evolve. Then we want to respond differently to the situation or something similar. And at that point, then we're ready to transcend it or evolve it. And once we're able to respond to a situation differently, again, with love and compassion, we realize that the only reason why we can respond from a place of kindness is because we see the value of integrating the person so that we can fulfill our life purpose. So we can integrate that experience, what that person brought us, what the situation is teaching us to fulfill our life purpose. Everything that's happening to you, right? Whether you want to call it good or bad, again, they're just perspectives. That's my invitation to you, is to see them as perspectives, is so that you can be the best version of you, and so that you can fulfill your purpose. And I want to leave you with this quote. It says, if you're serious about change, you have to go through uncomfortable situations. You have to stop trying to dodge the process, because this is the only way we grow. Every single living being in this universe, from atoms to humans to planets to galaxies and even ascended masters, they go through this process of ascension, of evolution and transcendence. But what that means to us at the human level is very simple. We have to consciously work on each area mentioned above: observe, honor, integrate, respond, and transcend, to have a balanced life. It means that we have to dedicate as much time and commitment to the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual process so that we can experience growth. And for me, I had to step into those wounds. I had to step into the wounds from childhood that I wouldn't have others seen if it hadn't been for this person that came into my life. I wouldn't have seen that. So I have to be very grateful for this person, because they came to show me something about me that needed healing, that needed much attention that I needed to spend on that, and so I had to learn to create boundaries, speak up for myself. This was just some of the things that I observed, that there were opportunities for me to learn, right? Again, observing and honoring that there's a lesson here. So for me, it was to set boundaries, to speak up for myself, in everything, the good and the bad had a purpose in my life. And my job was to find the meaning and the significance, how it applied to me, and how it was here to help me grow. So that's my invitation to you with this short message, is to stop looking at the duality of our life as this finite states that I'm either good or I'm either bad. I'm either in the light or I'm either in the dark. No. These are just forces giving you perspective so that you can know who you are in the middle. That is all. And if you could look at life that way, if you can look at the situations that way, and stop trying to shoot the messenger or the messengers, there are going to be many in your life, you will definitely experience growth, transcendence, and evolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angel. And thank you all for opening up to hear, to listen, to be in this process of evolution with us together. So as we prepare for a time of guided meditation, I invite you to begin by simply becoming aware of feeling comfortable just as you are, where you are right now, and settle into this moment. Settle into this particular moment, feeling what you're feeling. Maybe some of the things that Angel's brought up have been uncomfortable, or maybe there's new awareness filtering in and through your body, your soul. Just feel the sensations right now. Feel even the sensation of clothes against your body, of your body in this chair or place where you are. And using your mind's eye, allow yourself to see yourself where you are, as you are. Feel that in one sense you are alone, that you and you alone are having this unique experience of sitting here now, of wearing these clothes, of living in this body, of feeling the free flow of spirit moving through you. And yet, at the same time, you are not alone, for you are surrounded by this field of loving energy, of people just like you who are here to move beyond our illusions of separation, of light and dark and good and bad, but to experience our deep connections to ourselves, to each other, to spirit, to all of creation, as we look at these different perspectives, as we observe, as we honor those lessons. Simply sitting, simply breathing, simply opening to this opportunity to evolve, to see things differently, to move into a place of integration. I invite you to breathe into that possibility as you experience this field of unlimited potential within you, of experiencing who you truly are. Won't you feel yourself opening to the possibility to respond in different ways, in new ways, to feel, to hear, to see, and to learn how to move into an alignment of evolution and transformation that supports you and your highest good right now. And as you do so, as you transcend, as you evolve, just allow every cell and fiber of your being to be open to this possibility of resonating with all the people, all the places, all the circumstances that come into your life that are there to support you in becoming who you truly are. Free, unlimited, whole and complete, abundant beyond measure right now. And now. And now. So now rest in this awareness. Rest knowing that only good will come of your willingness to experience and express this truth as you grow and transcend, as you evolve now. Now. And now. And from this place of peace, of power, won't you send forth your love out into the world, knowing that as you do this work, you are able to share with others your learnings, your process. And in doing so, you affirm and are affirmed. You are blessed and you are blessing. You are loving and you are being loved. Now. For this, we, with grateful hearts, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Would you join us now and with a grateful heart, singing In All Things Give Thanks.
In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. thanks, thanks. In all things give thanks. Give thanks for the gift of life, the one light shines through all of creation, with hands and hearts open wide. We lift our voices in celebration. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. Thanks, thanks. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks.
So we lift up the offering baskets, supporting the work of the circle. We hold up all the names and the situations in the prayer box, prayer circle, knowing that all is well. And we hold these as we speak the words, I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me, with heart wide open. Together,
I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me,
with heart
wide open.
And now we welcome back Bernice Lewis with another song.
Hey, everybody. Well, this is a newer song of mine that just kind of showed up, and it's interesting that Angel talked about rivers and saving people and stuff, because this is a song about a river. I spend a lot of time in the Grand Canyon on the Colorado River. I'm going to probably spend some time down there rafting next month, so if that's something you've got on your bucket list, you might want to drop me a line. Anyway, this is called Back When I Was a River. And thank you to all of you for letting me hang out with you this morning. Back when I was a river, every single day, I made love to the shore. I had the power to change things, to pull and rearrange things. I was so much more. I was long and rushing for to see, till the moon abandoned me. But she came around as just a sliver. Back when I was a river, back when I was a river. Back when I was a river, moved a lot of mountains, changed the course of streams, sorted through the pebbles, all the stuff that settles on the edge of dreams. I was longing, rushing for the sea. I took responsibility to trickle down your spine and make you shiver. Back when I was a river, back when I was a river. Back when I was a river, played a lot of music, sang with all those birds, harmonize with thunder, howl with wind and wonder, get the weight of words I was longing, rushing for the sea until the moon abandoned me, but she came around as just a sliver, like when I was a river, back when I was a river, back when I was a river.
Thank you, Bernice. And thank you, Angel. I want to just share a few things before we close together. Tomorrow night is our Intention Mandala workshop with Natalie Burtonshaw. It'll be on a Zoom call, Zoom meeting, but it's from 6 to 8 Central Time. And it's free of charge. And we did it last month and it was wonderful. And so we hope you'll join us for that. If you're interested, let us know on Facebook, and the link to the Zoom meeting is there also. Next Sunday, we have Carrie Clack joining us. Those of you who are San Antonians will know that he's begun again to write his Sunday article in the San Antonio Express News, and we're grateful for that. So he'll be sharing, the title of his talk is In This Moment. And Carrie has a lifetime of experience working with the King Center in Atlanta, and being on the front line of activism and powerful writing and words. So we're looking forward to that. And August 30th, Joni Brooks will be back with us. Her topic is Laughter is a Universal Language. She's a yoga laughter instructor, among many other things. So be prepared to have a good belly laugh together. So we're grateful that you're here, and we invite you to join us in our virtual circle as we hold hands together and sing our closing song, Love is the Only Power. And if you don't know it, you will before too much longer. And we're going to bring back everyone here. And let's see if we can, you got to lean in, Rudy. Even more.
Love is the only
Power.
love is
The only
way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow.
Well, thank you both for being with us today.
Thank you.
A good remembering at many levels. So thank you for sharing, for being who you are in the world. We're grateful. And those of you who joined us, we'll see you next Sunday or Wednesday night. Graham Whitley will be leading meditation at 7:30 to 8. So be there then. Blessings. Remember, we love you. We bless you. We see the light in you.